private
We
space.
rather not be in the public space, but achieve our house, achieve our home in the private space. Why? Because what we do, we don't do it for the public, but we do it for ourselves. Baba, you cannot fake ukuba nemali. You can't fake it.
But people are faking money out there.
Do you know that men sometimes they resort into drinking hard? Because they want alcohol.
It's because they are frustrated.
They are brutally abused. And it's so unfortunate. Let me say it out loud. It's so unfortunate when you are abused, even the erection becomes abnormal. Why? Because
The Backyard Chat with Lloyd Snr. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lloyd Snr. Welcome to the Backyard Chat with Lloyd Snr. Today we're not in the backyard. We're doing this indoors. Unfortunately, because it's a windy month, it's the month of August, it's the 9th today. We are on holiday, celebrating women all over the country. We're saying Happy Women's Month out there. Do hit the subscribe button as well. Today, I've got a very, very phenomenal man. He goes by the name of Musa Shiba. We sit together today to chat more about life. We're going to cover a whole lot of aspects. Thank you so much for coming through, Bra Musa.
Lloyd, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'm very glad to be here today.
It's been difficult to have this man around. You know, like he finally made it to the Backyard Chat. So, Musa, we made quite a number of years back. I think it's 3-4 years ago. And from there on, I was in the office and you surprised me by a book.
You mean, sure. Is it 3-4 years ago? It's more than that.
It's more than 4 years, ne? I've known you a long time ago.
Yeah, it's more than that.
So he surprised me with a book, guys. A black young man has written a book. He's an author. So you're an author. We can call you an author.
Yeah, I am a published author. And by the way, just that there were disturbances, but this book qualified even for awards. Yeah, people were voting. We're just waiting for the owners of the awards to revert back to us and tell us when are we going to collect our awards. But people were voting big time.
Really?
So the book qualified for 3 categories.
It's a big book.
No, it's a good book. I believe you are reading.
Yeah, I'm reading. I haven't finished because of the busy schedule, but it's a very good book altogether. So how does it take? What does it take for a person to become a published author? So we have authors which are not published.
Yes, there are authors that are not published.
Why should a person be published?
Number one, it goes with passion. You see, as for me, I started writing my first book in 2017.
Yeah.
And there were no means to publish it.
Yeah. So it requires funds for a person to be a published author.
Yes, it requires funds for a person to publish a book. You can be shocked that I actually finished the book. And when I finished the book, it was around 2021 early.
Yeah.
Yes. Because remember, during COVID, we were home.
Yes.
And now I had to push the book and finish it. But it was so unfortunate that when I was writing the book, I was writing it on publisher. And when I had to publish it, when I had to take it to the editors, to the publishers, they said, no, we cannot publish this work. You must take this book to Word. It must be a Word document. Oh. And now...
Because you had written it with hands?
No.
You wrote it or you typed? Was it typed?
I typed, but under a Microsoft publisher. Oh. Instead of Microsoft Word.
Okay, there's Microsoft Publisher. I was not aware of.
Yes.
So you are able to type with Publisher?
Yes, able to type. In other words, it was already, the book, the structure was already designed. And only to find that you don't design the structure yourself.
They have to do it for you.
Yes. Okay. And it was so unfortunate that when we had to convert it, because already if it's in publisher, it converts itself to a PDF document. So now to move it from publisher to a Word document, it's a struggle, man. When we were doing the convention, then
you were required to retype now.
I had to retype up.
No convention? There was no software to convert it.
And there was a software to convert it, but unfortunately, the structure changes altogether. And some of the words, they are now without meaning. I had to try and rewrite and retype the book, and also thinking that here I wanted to say this, there I wanted to say that. You see, so it was a struggle. So I'm just saying, publishing a book is not an easy thing, but once you break the forces that makes you not to do something, the forces when they are broken, doing a second book is not an issue. I'm writing and I'm enjoying, but doing my first book, it was a struggle. And I thank God that at the end of it all, I published the book. And the book, it's selling. The struggle is that sometimes I'm running out of copies, because if I have copies, people, they buy.
Immediately.
Immediately.
Sells out.
It
after
sells
print.
itself, Baba.
Yeah, ne?
Yeah.
We'll be right back. So I've seen people, especially celebrities, those people have got a very busy schedule, right?
Yeah.
We've seen the likes of Kanyimbao publishing a book. We've seen the likes of Bonang Mateba publishing a book. We've seen Mamkizo. We've seen quite a number of celebrities publishing books. But these people are very busy.
Yeah.
Are they being assisted one way or the other? What happens then when such busy people are able to publish book 1, book 2, just like that? Because I understand from the perspective, what you're saying now, I think it took you time. You had to see it. You had to write. You had to take it to the editor, this and that and that. So these people, what happens with these famous people who are able to publish within a short period of time?
So Lloyd, you can actually do what we call a ghostwriting.
Ghostwriting.
Yeah, meaning to say the publisher itself, maybe you give them your content, you pour your heart to them, to say, this is what I actually want to write about.
So I can just have a verbal conversation.
Yes. Yes. You can have a verbal conversation with them, then
without writing anything.
Without writing anything.
Yes. So they record you during the process.
It's possible that it depends on how they operate, those publishing houses. But it's possible that we can sit down and we talk. You see, and the more we do our content together, then we take a decision to say, you know what, okay, it's fine. Show it in what this is how it's going to be structured. You see. Okay. But there is that offer to say they can write the book on your behalf, and when they publish it, it is you that is publishing the book. Anyway, it's your words, but you do not write it yourself.
Oh, so they wrote it on your behalf, take it to the editor. I'm sure it's taken to the editor. Ne?
It's actually the publishers themselves. They do edit everything. Themselves. Yes.
Oh, very fascinating. So how long does it take? For example, if I'm to write a novel?
It depends.
A 200-page book?
It depends, because remember that everything that you do, it's about passion.
Yeah.
It's about commitment. How willing do you want to go about this thing? You see, the force that you put into this thing, the passion, the commitment that you put, the zeal that you actually have, and the zest that you actually have about this thing. So it makes you to push even harder. You can take a year writing a book. Okay. You can take 3 months writing a book. You can take a month writing a book. But this thing requires commitment. And we must agree to say, before you can just write a book, with time, from time to time, content develops. You see, because you've got the idea here, which is the main title. But the more you meet people,
the more things change.
Yeah, the more you get involved with other people, the more you do your observation and everything, your content is getting boosted. And also, before you can even type the book you finish it here.
Already.
Yes, already. You know what to write. If I sit down now and say I'm going to type, especially I'm writing my second book now, and I'm doing about 24 chapters, and I'm trying because I'm in chapter 15 now. And when I sit down and say, today I am writing, already I've got the subtitle, I sit down and I write and I flow. Why? Because this thing, it's already
it's in
here.
you.
It's
and
in
there's
me.
passion with
Yes, it's in me.
Very
and
fascinating.
also, people can be gifted. You can be gifted. As a writer, you can be gifted. But also, as a writer, you can develop the zeal to say, you know what, I want to write a book. There are people who are writers. There are people who developed the skill on the way.
During the process.
During the process, yes. So it depends with the person's passion. Are you passionate about it or not? And especially when writing my my first book, Mental Poverty Outcomes Exposed. Then it says the navigator to mental transformation.
Yeah.
I observed actually the poverty at home that we were going through. And I checked, okay, okay, we were struggling, it's fine. But my dad was working a mine. Yeah, understand. Yeah. So I think we were struggling, we were poor or what. But I noticed we were not actually poor because there was no money. We were not actually poor because there was no food. But we suffered mental poverty. You see. Why? Because when you are suffering from mental poverty, even though means are there, but the same means that you have, you don't use them at your best. You see. Why? Because poverty is not there to define you. You can be coming out from Mkukwini, but you have the Bankenfeld mindset. You have the Sentin mindset. Why? Because the problem is with the upstairs. For example, Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book to say why A students are employing the C students, and why C students? I'm sorry. Why C students employ the A students, and why the B students are working for the government. You see, it touched me. It touched me to say, wow, the people whom we celebrate in class to say this is an A student. At the end of it all, they go to university. They come back to work for the C students. Number two, the B students are working for the government. So we must agree to say this thing goes with the zeal and the zest. Yes.
Even the failed students, there's someone out there who becomes an entrepreneur without school.
Yes,
you have to work for them.
Very true. And you may find that quite a number of people who are millionaires, they dropped out from school. They dropped out from school.
Definitely. Even artists, more special the artists.
But they do good. Yeah. They do good because there's nothing that is paying as passion, and there's nothing that is paying as an implemented idea. Because they see students what they do, they develop an idea. The A students, they go to school to come back and work for the idea. I used to question the situation to say, myself and you, we are teachers, right? Yes. But when attending secular education, studying towards becoming teachers, there's something I observed. There was no course where we were taught to how to start a school.
Yes.
How to run your own school. But you were trained only to teach.
No management.
No
you
management.
were actually taught to manage learners, to manage that situation, that classroom, and not to manage even staff members. There's no part where you are taught how to manage Shiba as a teacher. We are only taught to do or to apply classroom management. And at the end of the day, we are expected to manage staff. That is our colleagues.
Very true.
Definitely.
Very true. Really that is why when now you want to go for PL3, they check, do you have management?
Meaning you need to further your studies. You add more on what you
That's it.
Oh, definitely.
That's it. But it's painful. It's painful because therefore it tells us that the type of curriculum that we are implementing as a country, it affects us in a way.
A lot.
Why? Because if I'm going for teaching, I must study teaching, but I must also be taught how to start my own school. How to manage my own school. Because already I'm at university and the program is rolling. So why don't they add courses that they actually prepare me not to work for the government?
Yes, how to be an engineer and open a mine.
That's it, my brother.
Most definitely.
That's it, you see.
So coming to this writing process, during the process, I understand you are married, right?
Yes.
How did you manage? I think marriage is demanding on its own. The spousal attention. You come back home from work, you have to write. How were you balancing the two?
Actually, I must be honest with you. The offices are very hard. It's because at the same time, I must prepare lessons. I must go to teach.
Yeah, you must go to work.
Yeah, I must go to work. And I believe ukuthi, since I'm a teacher, I must contribute correctly to a person's life. You see?
The community as a whole.
Yes. Then now I have to come back from work. I must be a father to my two sons. I must be a husband to my wife.
Father of two.
Yes. Then now I must also be a husband. And also I'm a life coach. I'm a marriage mentor and relationship coach. So at the same time, sometimes I've got people that I need to sit down and counsel them. And at the same time, now I need to pay attention to my family. But I had to set my time. You see,
Was it an agreed? Did you reach an agreement? Did you did you draft? Should I say maybe a timetable, allocating time? Was there an agreement? I need to understand on how you balance the two. Did you tell her that you're about to start a book and she supported you? Balancing the two.
Yes. Look,
I know women can be very jealous when it comes to that.
A clever wife understands that what this person is doing will bring bread on the table.
It benefits me back.
It will benefit me back. It will benefit me back. So what I need to do is to support him. You see. So what I used to do sometimes, I used to sit down and type, and when I'm typing, I will be reading the information to her. You see, usually
so it was a teamwork.
Yeah, it was
a teamwork.
Because I enjoyed reading. I enjoyed reading for her. Like even the book that I'm writing.
And I'm sure for approval as well to say, hey, Mara baby, here you are wrong. I think it's a supportive woman.
Yeah, no. She's very supportive. I must appreciate that because it's a women's day today.
Definitely.
So I must really do, because one thing that I've learned, Baba, is that women are multipliers. Because it's a women's day today. Women are seed carriers. And we must agree that Jesus Christ was not going to be born without a woman. Though we are told he was born without the spermatozoa of a man. It's okay, because the Holy Spirit overshadowed Mary and she fell pregnant. Okay, it's fine. That's what the Bible is telling us. But at the same time, a woman was needed. You see, you see. When I define
to raise the child, to raise Christ,
to carry
yes.
the baby, to borrow God the womb, to carry the baby. You understand? So God deposited the spirit. Then the spirit turned to be a human being, you see. And what we do, we deposit the sperm. And when we deposit the sperm, the same woman carries the sperm. And then the sperm goes to a level where it becomes a zygote, it becomes a kid and so forth, you see. And she falls pregnant, and only to deliver. It's very interesting, because lo muntu kuthwala yena deliver wena. You see, when looking at the kid, one, the kid has your blood, but you did not carry the child
at all.
Number two, sometimes the child looks exactly like the father, but the father did
especially
not
when it's same gender.
Especially when it's same gender, yes. Why? Because Tina, our duty is to deposit, but whatever that which we deposit, they carry it and multiply it. When we buy food, according to the late Dr. Miles Monroe, he says, I quote, when you provide food, a woman brings you a meal. You see, when you buy food, but the woman, she gives you a meal. She appreciates you with a meal. So it's a woman's day today. It's a woman's month. We are in August. And we must agree to say, my brother, we are kids of our mothers, number one. Our mothers are kids of our grandmothers, and also we have got sisters, you see. Definitely. We've got female friends. Yes. We've got women who are working with, you see. Some of the leaders are now women. Now. You understand? We are led by women. We must appreciate. For an example, my ex-principal was a woman, and your principal is also
and now moved up there. A woman. She's moved up there.
You see.
Into the higher office.
Into the higher office.
Preference is given to women
into
nowadays.
The higher office. Why? Because we must agree to say women were deprived these opportunities during the apartheid system and the olden days and so forth. Yeah. Remember that women at most, they were taught to be housewives and none. But now we really appreciate the system now, that at least women are given a chance to prove themselves.
I'm happy about that. At least there was flexibility and agreement and understanding, because women can be difficult when it comes to this. They go like, yeah, you're from work. What? I need my attention. I think those are jealous women. I think those are jealous women. I think every woman should be supporting the husband.
Yeah, if we talk about that, Baloyi, we must agree to say, I was talking to my wife in the early morning of today. Then I said to her, look, man, I've got concerns. what must we do as people, as a society? Must we continue to buy toys in forms of cars, right?
Yeah.
And also buy dolls for the girls. We buy cars for the boys, we buy dolls for the girls. Must we continue to do that? Because at the same time, even the girls, they must drive cars.
They are driving cars and they are driving heavy machines now.
You see. And even the boys, they must know how to change a kimbi and everything. So what must we do as a society? Because we don't want to cross character. You understand? We don't want to cross character.
I think it's important for us to continue doing what we've been doing. I think female roles will remain female roles.
Yeah.
We cannot go to buy now dolls for the boys.
You see, we were just chatting.
Sexuality. Yeah.
We were just chatting. Then I said to her, at the same time, I think it's good that we buy these puzzles to expose these kids to the puzzles. They must know they must be able to think, to apply their mind to say, okay, this puzzle goes to this one.
Yeah.
This puzzle goes to this one. I like these toys which are called building blocks. You find them scattered at times. The kids, they scatter them. And you may find them scattered in their room. But what I like is that the kid is flexible to build a car out of the building blocks. To create a human being. To do out of an artificial person, out of the same building blocks, to create a house out of the same building blocks, meaning that the mind is getting stretched out. So I think as a society now, we must be able to expose even our kids at early stages to these things, to say they must be critical thinkers.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home today, I've got Musa Shiba. He's a pastor as well.
Yeah.
How do you balance author, teacher, pastor, husband? Oh, very hardworking man. We'll be right back. The man next to me is Musa Shiba. He's also a pastor, a leader of the congregation. So we're talking about how you balance the two. So now I want to understand how you balance the three. As a man of God, you come back from work, you are writing. You need to go back to the church as an elder of the church or deacon. But I know you are a pastor, you are a man of God. You need to be out there and assist us spiritually, lift us when we are down, pray for us, bless us, reclaim the blessings. So how do you balance the three? I understand you explained on how you balance the two. Now, how do you balance the three? Being a teacher, being an author, and being a pastor.
Yeah, no, you can't work without balance, because it's understanding your role as a person in a different environment.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, when I get to school, I'm expected to be a teacher. My duty is to teach.
Yeah.
I don't say I am a pastor and take a Bible and go to class, but I must prepare content and teach the African child. So that is very important. And at the same time, when I get home, I'm expected to switch the roles. Even though at times maybe I might bring work home, because sometimes we're marking. I just prepare the family to say, guys, look, it's during this is now the time of marking, so can you please spare me time? And I get into my office and ensure that I'm not disturbed at that time. I mark my work. And they support me because they understand that for the family to eat, this man must get to work. You see, when I get to church at the same time, the person that I am at work, I am not the person that I am in church.
Yeah.
When I am in church, I am supposed to be a pastor, and I must play the pastoral role. I'm very much glad that in under the roles of a teacher, there is pastoral care. So I practice that as a member of the community.
I think there's a module there. Teacher as a pastoral what?
You see. So when I have to balance the three, I must understand that there must be time for my family.
Yeah.
You see, there are times where I need to switch off my phones, or rather put them on silence,
completely off,
and ensure that, or put them off and ensure that this time I'm attending my boys. You see, I spend time with them. How did you go to school? Do you have homeworks?
Let me assist.
Everything. You see, let me assist there and there. And now my younger son was going for competitions at school. He was doing mental meds and everything. And I had to go all out for him to ensure that he sees that our father is a supportive man. Why? Because there's one book that I'm going to write, which is titled Surviving the Cell Phone Generation.
Yeah.
You see. Why? Because
there's a book coming. Is that title?
Yeah. There's a book coming, but it's not the one that I'm writing.
That topic will make an impact to the next generation.
You see.
Because this is a challenge. It's a real challenge that we're faced with.
You see.
Even as adults, like cell phone, the way it takes our time.
You see. So to reach a balance, you must be able to switch off. When you are in church, you must be able to say, you know what, I'm in church. I can't be in church and be on WhatsApp at the same time. You see. Rather, if maybe I am with my kids, we must be watching something on the phone together. You see. Maybe if I am with my wife, we must be watching something on the phone together, laughing together. But the tendency of both of us
being on cell phones,
the other one is on WhatsApp,
the other one is on Facebook.
On YouTube, the other one is on Facebook, then it disturbs the family structure now. Why? Because we must understand that the family structure at the end of it all, it must be protected. Because we are going to actually groom children of social media. Our offspring will be good in social media. Will be good.
And they struggle to write.
We will have TikTok kids. We will have WhatsApp kids. But we won't have kids that are able to balance their lives. Why? Because the kids that we groom, when they get home, they are on Netflix, they are on Showmax. Because those things are there. They are on YouTube and everything. They are on WhatsApp, TikTok, which is not bad. Because Impilo Manje is channeling us. It
revolves around those things.
Yes. But at the same time, we must be able to switch off. I mean, I'm advising people to say the best way to balance life is to switch off.
Hey, we are linked to cell phones. We are linked to cell phones. Our cars are linked to cell phones. Tracking device is linked to our cell phone. Banking is linked to our cell phones. I just want to understand a situation. I want to understand a situation where now I've switched off my phone, and now that the phone is off, car safety, kids, work, and all other things.
Yeah.
The way now we are linked to cell phones makes it very difficult for us to completely switch off. That's why people would rather prefer to put it on silent, so that at least they can see incoming calls. Incoming calls, app notifications, all those things. Because to completely switch off, it means you are now neglecting all other things. For example, a car. I mean, now at least we've got Car Watch app, where now if I activate my Car Watch app, I know for a fact that should someone try to start an ignition, tracking device will alert me. If someone is tampering with my card, when we buy groceries now, at least there's a notification to say there's a purchase where and where. So cell phones now, if we buy electricity with cell phones, we pay accounts, we do almost everything with our cell phones. So having to switch off completely, isn't it a dangerous action to take sometimes?
When I'm saying switch off, I'm trying to say avoid the things that will take your time.
That will distract you.
That will distract you. Yes. Okay. Avoid the distractions.
From cell phone.
Yes. When you switch off, it doesn't necessarily mean that you switch off the phone. You see. But you switch off the behavior to say, you know what now? This is what I'm doing. But should the phone ring, you must be able to receive it.
And even the notification, you know, this is a WhatsApp notification, whatever, then maybe you can ignore because now you're having a family time.
Yes.
And you know for a fact that this is a notification from the bank. At least our phones have got different tones to notify us.
You see.
So there's a tone that this tone. You're familiar with these tones. This tone is for WhatsApp. This tone is for a banking app. Maybe then you'll be able to go like, hey, let me attend this one, or let me rather ignore this one. I think it makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah, because it helps you to balance your life. I'm just running away from the fact that there are things that are sometimes unnecessary. They are distractions.
Just like TikTok, social media actually.
Because it titivates you, but it doesn't titivate the family.
The family.
And it's possible to be available but not present.
Sure.
You see?
Are you aware my living room television was only switched on in March this year? The only time my TV was on, watching something, was in March. I've got a bedroom television. It has never been on.
Yeah.
So, cell phone now. You find that you are with your partner. All of you are on your Showmax. The other one is on Netflix. And keys. I've seen families. I've seen a group of friends sitting together, not talking to one another, but all of them are glued to their cell phone.
And this behavior is so painful in a sense that the other person is sleeping. Maybe if you are married, then the other one is busy chatting on WhatsApp.
And it's chatting to who? Go WhatsApp.
Yeah, and at the same, maybe friends or whatsoever. But when you are chatting, we are laughing. You're busy checking statuses of other people and you're laughing. You see, by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you were online. 3 o'clock, you were online. You see, and it dents your character and your behavior as a person. I used to tell people to say, if you want to quit something, start with the hardest. You see, if you want to make money and you are a smoker, deal with smoking first. If you want to stop...
Because it takes lots of money.
Because it takes a lot of money. So deal with your smoking first. I'm making an example to say, try the hardest habit to deal with it. You see. Then that will give you passion and desire to say, you know what, though it was hard, I'm going to do this business. I'm going to do it. Why? Because you dealt with a habit. And it's not easy to deal with the habit. So to reach a balance, it's not an easy thing, my brother. I can't lie to you. It's not an easy thing. Because I cannot lie to people and say, I'm satisfying my family in everything. Because I'm a very busy man. Believe me.
Way too busy. I can witness that one.
I can't say they are satisfied, you understand? But I'm trying to pay areas. Because what is important is to pay the areas. For an example, I don't have friends that I'm going out with them. Why? Because I understand that I'm taking so much time for my family. So whenever I am off, I must try to pay areas.
And be home.
And be home. You understand?
With
my kids, with my wife, ensuring that I groom my sons the correct way. But at the same time, I'm expected to run the church errands. I cannot neglect to say, Isotol Nabantu. And those people, they need attention. So I'm hosting events and everything. But I'm trying to balance my schedule because at the same time, I don't want my kids to grow up and hate church.
Very, very interesting. I can't wait for that book. I cannot wait for that book. And this book should be read by teenagers and young adults. I think it's going to assist them completely.
Yeah, very true. Just that I'm pushing towards publishing the book that I'm writing, which is titled Married but Divorced.
Married but divorced.
Yeah, then it says point us to a dying marriage. Because remember that you are moving from the poverty.
And many marriages are dying. People are getting married and divorced after 2 years. The funniest thing which I came across was a man who divorced and still paying was it a lobola loan? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it divorced anyway.
Yeah, divorced. I'm not sure if the divorce was at the final stage, but this person was still paying the loan for the lobola and the matrimonial with the white wedding event. So, people go out.
The loans, because say, when we talk about the issue of divorce, the issue of divorce, it can start like, let's say maybe can take 10 years. Those signs are there.
Before you eventually sign.
Yeah, it can take 10 years or rather 5 years or so many years. It depends. Why? Because when I'm saying married but divorced, it's when we stop doing the needs of marriage. Because men, they've got their own needs in marriage. Yeah. Women, they've got their own needs in marriage. Once we stop fulfilling the needs of marriage, because Baba, I'm telling you, it takes grace to love another person. It takes grace and strength
to love the next person.
It takes grace and strength to love your neighbor.
Can a person learn to love the next person?
Come again?
Can I learn to love the next person?
You can learn to love the next person. Why? Because at the same time, as it mhlambe uma standana, because utanda ngithi there is erotic love.
What is erotic love?
Erotic love, it's actually the eros love, the romantic love.
The romantic one. I'm attracted to you for sex.
Not to say I'm attracted to you for sex, but actually it's romantic love to say I cannot sleep with everybody.
Yeah.
I cannot live life with everybody. I live my personal life like I can't do that with the whole society.
Yes.
You see? So that love it's erotic. Yes, it's erotic. So
it has romance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that type of love, because remember that God has what we call agape love, which is the unconditional love of God, right? So now when
the love that I can have for you as my brother.
Yes, there is a stokeo and filio, one of them there. Yes. But also when we talk about the erotic type of love, in other words, sizamuchaza uguti. As a person, when we are involved to each other, we must teach each other how to love one another. I want to be loved the way how I want to be loved.
The way I want to be loved.
Yes.
So you are not loving me the way I want to be loved, but you are loving me.
It's possible ukuthi ungathi uyangithanda, but ngizwe man ukuthi lo muntu uthi uyangithanda kodwa le ndlela ngithanda ngayo ayiyona mina le engithanda ukuthandwa ngayo, because I love myself so much that when people they say they love me, you understand, I've got my own way to say, you know what, if umuntu enza lento kusho ukuthi uyangithanda. For an example, tina madoda uthando, because remember ukuthi amadoda iwona athandayo, but women they receive love.
Yeah.
Women are recipients.
So women are recipients.
Women are recipients.
They don't love us.
What they do, they submit to the love. So in other words, the man plants the love. The woman does not have the love in nature. So you plant the love becomes a seed in her heart.
No wonder they love money so much from us.
You plant the seed, say Lloyd. Then when you have planted the seed of love in a woman, when the seed grows, she develops the erotic love for you. You understand? Then she says, I love this man. Yeah. You say, I love this man. She never had it before you. It becomes lust, therefore, if a woman can love you before you can love her. You see. Why? Because a woman does not have love in nature. You see. But men, what they do, they plant the love. Once the seed of love is being planted, because whatever that goes to a woman, it's planted. That's why I said at the earlier stage of the podcast to say, whatever that which you give to a woman, she multiplies it. You understand? Then when then she loves you back and she loves you better. She loves you more. You understand? And the level of jealousy grows.
She grows a better vision of love.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Why? Because when you've planted the love in her, you've planted the love in her. So love becomes a seed that is being planted by the man. But at the same time, due to the struggles that we have as people, failing to love each other correctly, failing to submit to one another, failing to tolerate one another, because I said to you, it takes grace and strength to love the other person. Akulula ukuthanda umuntu, because a person is human. And umuntu sazokulimaza. A person will disappoint you. Sometimes people will do the things that you don't like, but you continue loving them. Because the love that you have for your kids, you love them even though they are misbehaving. The love that you have for your wife, for your husband, you love them even though they disappoint you, they don't do right by you. Why? Because the way how you give them the love, it comes from within. It has nothing to do with happenings. You see. So as a family, when we talk about the family structure, because the family structure actually, when kids they are at school, Tina as teachers, we are able to trace the family where the child is coming from. When we
Because
see
of
the
the
character
behavior.
traits, because of the
Yes.
behavior, you see, we see the character traits of the child and how the child is behaving, and we get to see, okay, this type of a kid, usuka ekaya elinje,
Yeah,
you understand?
definitely.
Why? What's the reason? The reason is that the family structure itself, if it has order and is organized and love is given correctly, because when we give each other love correctly in the bedroom, the whole house will be affected by love. You see?
Very fascinating.
But if we are struggling to establish the love at the private space, we will struggle to establish the love in a public space. You see, I've seen couples who are doing good in Facebook. I've seen couples who are doing good in WhatsApp.
Good in Facebook, Jan.
Yeah, like they are wearing
Nice clothes.
Nice clothes.
But when they get home, it's drama.
Get home, it's disaster. Why? Because they did not achieve the marriage in the private space. We rather not be in the public space, but achieve our house, achieve our home in the private space. Why? Because what we do, we don't do it for the public, but we do it for ourselves. Baba, you cannot fake ukuba nemali. You can't fake it.
But people are faking money out there.
You can. But the challenge is when you get back to your closet, when you
know for the fact that this is unreal.
You know that this is fake. So hard, I'm afraid to work hard.
I've seen these Forex guys. Forex guys.
Yeah, I know.
Who are shooting pictures of mansions and they are shooting nice pictures in a Lamborghini there. And the next thing, they are shooting pictures in this fancy house. Hey, Mara, you'll be surprised. The next thing is you'll see the other person shooting at that very same house, going like, I secured the bag. In that very same house that you've seen previously, you understand? So you get to see this is big, this is very unreal. Very fascinating. This is a very, very fascinating topic that we're tackling right now. It's the Backyard Chat with Lloyd Snr. I have got Musa Shiba, who's a pastor, who's an author, who's a teacher, very hardworking man. We'll be right back.
For people who want to have the book, like chapter 1 of the book, it talks about my passion. You see, because
you spoke about passion to say a person must have passion, develop passion first, or develop the passion during the process to carry out the entire project of writing a book.
Yes, and I dwelt much on my passion as an individual.
Yeah.
To say, why did I choose to write a book? Because my interest was not to compete, but was also to unveil what the Lord has laid in my spirit also. Yes. Then also I spoke about the poverty of the mind.
Yes, we discussed poverty of the mind.
You see. No, it's fine. When we talk about, like I said before, that the book is titled Mental Poverty Outcomes Exposed and the Navigator to Mental Transformation. So my main interest is to shift poverty from being physical poverty.
Yeah.
Why? Because people, they actually define poverty as in like not having basic needs.
Yes, not having resources, not having a car, not having infrastructure.
Yes. Not like not having a house, not having
access
to water.
But it is poverty, of course.
Yes, it is poverty, we agree. Yeah. But actually, those are results of poverty.
So you want to tell us that poverty emanates from the mind.
Thank you very much.
It originates from the mind.
Thank you very much.
So what we see as the physical is actually the outcome of upstairs.
Yes, Bob. Those are actually the results that are produced by the poverty mindset. Yeah. For an example, let me put it like this. The poverty mindset...
May I please have sparkling water, please?
The poverty mindset can go as far as, for an example, let's say I am working and I decide to buy a car. All right, it's fine. All right, it's fine. I buy my beautiful Polo.
Yeah.
It's good. But when I'm driving it, I'm always drunk. I go to the taverns, I get drunk, and I drive when I'm drunk. Though I'm paying an expensive installment, that means I've got the poor mindset, you see. Because at the same time, this thing is a liability and I am paying it. But at the same time, I am drunk driving it. with knowing that should I get an accident and the insurance do an assessment and find that I was very drunk when driving the car, I can be in trouble. You understand? Meaning that I've got, I am attacked by the poverty of the mind. That's number one. Number two, the poverty of the mind is to say, I understand isimo sasekhaya ukuthi ekhaya isimo sisibheda kangakanani, like ngisuke ekhaya elingenalutho. You understand? There is nothing ekhaya bathembe mina. But at the same time, ngithi ngifunda isikolo, then I join a group of friends that are not good.
Yeah.
You see, that is the poverty of the mind. Why? Because poverty emanates from a poor mindset,
Which is unable to plan effectively, disorganized mind.
Yes.
Failure to use the brain to say, let me stand up and go out there and roll up this action.
You see, and no one's izinto futhi like failing to understand the times.
Yeah.
You see, because
Especially the times we're living in now.
Because iskati as fun. I was telling the kids that I'm teaching, and I said, you guys, you can see that, hey, no. Academical, there's still a struggle. We need to push even more. Then I said to them, but there are distractions we must deal with.
Yeah.
And I said to them, when the boys, they come to you to tell you that they love you, tell them that, you know what, I also love you, and I'm actually interested to you even more. But I can't do anything with you, and I can't date with you if I'm not a doctor.
Wow.
If you say you love me, that means, therefore, you must develop your life. I will see by you developing your own life for me.
There has to be compatibility between the two.
See, develop your own life. For an example, the woman I'm married with, she was very brilliant. And it happened that ngimdala kunaye, but ngenxa yama attacks nokugula when I was still young.
Yeah.
I went to school at a later age, you see, and only to find that we had to do grade 8 together. And when we did grade 8
So you've been with her since grade 8?
Yeah, she was my classmate. So
I think this is true love.
And the challenge was that this person was very brilliant.
Yeah. So she performed much better than
because
you.
when we did our grade 8, amen, this person was very brilliant. When we did our grade 8 together, and only to find that Yena almost passed grade 9.
Yeah.
She did not go for grade 9. She was promoted.
Yeah.
You see.
Wakshi.
Wangshi about. She was promoted and she went to grade 10, and I was doing grade 9. And now I had the challenge to say, because I want this person.
Yeah.
Because I want this person. What must I do? I see that this person, she's brilliant, number one. Number two, she will have a brighter future.
Had you had proposed by then?
No.
You're not dating.
I didn't do anything. I was not even dating her. I was living my life.
Yeah.
I was living my life.
But you liked
I
her.
had so much interest.
Yeah.
Did
she know about your interest?
Unfortunately, at that time, she didn't know.
Yeah.
But I remember I told one of my friends, and my friends leaked the info to the girl. And as he leaked we were young, by the way. And as he leaked the info when we were doing around grade 9, because I realized that, you know what, the girl is now doing grade 10. I'm doing grade 9. Yes. This one. I might lose hair, you understand? And nearly
it's advanced now.
Yeah, you see, and only to find that I had to say to myself, you know what? Should it happen that I marry this girl, it will be fine. If I don't marry her, it will be fine. I had to live my life and to say, you know what? I'm competing with myself now.
Yeah.
I'm competing with my life. I had to study hard. Sure. You understand? Because anybody that comes and proposes you who do not develop his own life, that person hates you. Because impilo is not about to say I love you. At home we do not eat I love you. At home we do not dress I love you. You understand? So what is important is that you need to develop yourself first. That is very important. So I'm telling the kids to say, look.
Because you are coming underdeveloped, you're coming to frustrate the developed.
Unfortunately, because there are kids at school who are doing well, but these young boys, they interrupt them. Yes. They are doing well, and only to find that the kid is doing matric now, she's already pregnant. Why? Because there's this boy that is chasing after the girl, and only to find that the boy is not even developing himself, you see.
It's a rough society we live in.
So my advice to people is that before you can even love the next person, number one, love yourself. First. And when you love yourself, you'll develop yourself. You will know the things that are good for you. Like for an example, let me make an example. I've realized how you love yourself, man. Like I'm always looking at your status and I say, this man loves himself.
That's what?
going to the barber shop, when you do a cut,
that one behind the camera.
You can see like going
to man dog who's behind this.
And I saw you. I don't know whether you were incenting but buying a suit, buying clothes to go for Devon July. You understand? And I realized, I said, you know what? This man loves himself. And any woman that is coming to love you, she must be loving herself as well. You understand? Because it is impossible to give love if you cannot love your own self. You see, you can't be able to love the next person if you don't love yourself. But I
struggle with the issue of love on its own. So, to say what is the right time for one to say, I think this one is in love with me? Because people out there are saying you can only sustain marriage if you met your partner at a young age, because you highlighted that during your grade 8, that's when I thought you guys were dating. Unfortunately, you said you were not dating. So most of the guys out there are saying people who make it in marriage are people who met at a younger age. How true is that?
It can be true, but at the same time, when I'm saying people who are making it in marriage are people who are able to tolerate each other.
Okay.
You understand? We can meet only to find that a sazani. Yeah, a sazani. You see.
You can't.
You see. Yeah. Once we fail to do that, even if we've grown up together, our relationship is going to fail. That's it. Once you get to tolerate a person, Lloyd, one thing that I can tell you is that there are actually habits. Let me say it, put it like this. There are this kind of people natural, especially on the side of men. You know, the person cannot clean after himself. Right. When the person is taking out the socks, he's taking off the socks, he puts them back to the shoes.
And you're not supposed to place it back.
No, you don't do that, because already you have worn the socks and they are dirty. What you do, you see, you put the socks together like a ball.
Ball?
Yeah, and you
place it into the bin.
You must place them into the washing basket.
Immediately. Because you'll repeat.
Because you'll repeat the socks.
But none of my shoes smell.
Or rather, you will push the shoes towards under the bed.
Okay.
You see. And only to find that now, when the washing is being washed, there are socks that you don't see.
They are in one lost.
They are lost.
No, man, I lose lots of socks.
You understand?
I'm losing lots of socks every day.
We do have those kinds.
So once you take off the shoes, you fold them nicely, roll them into a ball.
Yes.
Off to the bin.
They
won't be lost.
Off to the bin. Obviously.
If mine are scattered. But I'm very neat and very organized.
Obviously, because even the person that washes the clothes, you should check the clothes first. All socks, yellow color must be packed with the partner. You see, blue color must be packed with its partner. That's it. Why? Because you are trying to teach yourself to be organized.
I think you are more organized than me. I think you love yourself more than
I can't say I am organized more than you. But we keep learning every time and we keep trying as people. Why am I saying that? Is that in marriage it becomes hard, therefore. If you cannot tolerate a person, it will be hard to tolerate such. We must agree, Happy Women's Day. We must agree that there are women who are tolerating men, Baba. Who are tolerating men.
Lots of women are tolerating.
Today it's a holiday, right? It's a women's day, but some men are not with their women.
They are not home. They didn't come back last night. They are gone. They are coming back on Monday.
When they come back already, they are drunk and everything. And they are expecting a lunchbox. You understand? And at the same time, peli lunchbox yomuntu ebekahambile unepapalazi nan. Yeah, you must bring at least hot meat. A good vos, chili vos, and pap, you see, and chakalaka, ufaka ma rice nan. So it takes a good woman to.
But how do you know about these Mpundis?
I know about this because I'm a life coach, and I need to.
So you know,
I have to study patterns of life. Why? Because at the same time I'm addressing people, and the people that are coming to me are not only those who are coming from church.
I thought you drink sometimes.
No, I don't. I've never drank.
Not even a sip.
Mina ubaba wangiphuzela ngithi.
Yeah.
Because my father was drinking a lot when I was young.
Yeah.
So he drank for me.
So you told yourself, I'm never gonna touch alcohol.
I've told myself I'm never going to touch alcohol. You understand? And I'm not going to say it is wrong because other people they drink it or whatsoever. I don't want to touch that topic. You understand?
Yeah.
Because we are addressing the public now. Yeah. But what I can say is that order, it's very important.
Whether you drink or not.
Whether you drink or not.
Why?
Because at the same time, even though I'm drinking, I must not suffer the family structure. Yeah. You understand? Be
responsible.
I must be responsible. Definitely. I don't drive my car when I am drunk. If I see, you know what, I will drink until I'm gone. It is better that I buy the stuff and I drink at home. You understand? I can advise a woman.
Very good advice.
I can advise a woman that is having a husband that is drinking because the Bible says singawalahla amadoda wethu angangakholwa ukuze bakholwe ngenxa yethu. You understand? So I can advise those women to say ungamlahli ubaba. But what you do, give ubaba the best treat. Could drink baba ibe khona efridgini. That hunter's dry. That hunter must be there.
You know them by name.
You know.
This alcoholic beverages.
But I used to buy alcohol for my dad. I used to buy alcohol for my dad.
So you tell you Savannah today.
And I'm human at the same time. No, I used to buy Black Label.
That was a hardcore drink.
And I used to buy the traditional one. Yeah, because there were emblems all over the street to say Namhla Bupiswe in that house, and we'll go by there. But praise God, my father stopped drinking around 2004, which was actually good for the family structure.
Is he still alive?
My father is still alive. Yes, even my mother is still alive. But though my parents are sickly, though my parents are sickly, and unfortunately I've lost my father-in-law. I think he was buried this month. Yes. Yeah, this month. So
wishing them speedy recovery.
Yeah. Last month, he was buried last month, before the 22nd. Yeah, before the 22nd. That was a pain that we are still dealing with even now. You see, but when I'm addressing the issues of liquor, is to say, phela asibo bonke abantu say Lloyd abazofana nathi.
We can't be the same.
Yes. We can't be the same. This is a society, and for the society 100%. To balance, we've got different people and people that are living different lives.
Yes.
But how do we best balance life?
Yeah.
We understand. Because at the end of it all, impilo le, and we must live life correctly. You understand? Because at the same time, I am a man with such a big stomach, and only to find that grade 9, grade 9, engnaye at the tavern. My family is waiting for me back at home. Back at home, you understand? Grade 9, grade 10. I'm driving a nice BMW, a nice Mercedes, but at the same time, I've got the character issue. So I'm trying to say, you see, Baba, the real rich, they are not into so many women.
True. Very true.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Why? Because at the same time, that I'm thinking, I must be thinking money. I must be thinking the next project. How to make money. Why? Because I've got to live and my family must live. And at the same time, I must check my associates. ukuthi ngiphila nabantu abanjani, my surroundings, you understand? Because there's a lot that we can be discussing with people. But are we discussing fruitful stuff now?
Yeah, most definitely.
You see, because at the same time, it's good that we can mingle as friends, we can go out together, but in everything we do, we must be trying to be productive. Self-productivity is very important. And we must be able to aim, Baba. We must be able to aim.
To aim high.
Check the Lion King. It's the king of the jungle, but the Lion King, it's it's so fortunate that the Lion King is not the smartest. The Lion King is not the fastest. The Lion King is not even the wisest.
Yeah.
You see, the Lion King is not even the most clever animal in the jungle, but it is the king of the jungle. Why? Because the Lion King lives by purpose.
Yeah.
Number 2, it is goal-driven. Number 3, the Lion King understands its weaknesses.
Yeah.
The Lion King knows that if I go to the elephant, once I do this mistake, the elephant will attack me in this fashion.
And I'm dead.
So the Lion King actually studies and analyzes character traits of the other animals.
First, before attacking.
That's it. And the Lion King aims, you see. So you must be aiming as an individual. So it is a women's month. It is a woman's day. I can say to people, choose yourself. Yeah. Choose yourself before people can choose you. Yes, Baba, it's very painful nowadays. You see, people are creating content. Yeah. Even ourselves here, we are busy with content, right? Yeah. People are creating content, but the painful part of it is that some people, they prefer creating content naked.
The use of nudity.
Yes.
To promote materials and
to promote materials and everything. Yes. That's where the society is going now, and it's very much painful. Why?
Because code is very inappropriate.
Yeah, people they've seen the use of the mind. It becomes very hard.
Sure.
And the poverty mindset says you can go naked. You see, and because they know.
And for this thing to sell, let's use a naked woman, for example.
Let's use a naked woman. I saw a video, but it's comedy, by the way. The man wants to go to a car wash, wants to go to a car wash and wash his car, and only to find that the woman refuses the man to go. You know what is happening in the car wash? Yeah. Those girls are naked. They are not naked, by the way. They are wearing palm shorts and they are washing the cars. It's about 2 girls. And as they wash the cars, they wash even themselves. They are wet.
Yeah. They pour water.
They pour water. And this man is rushing to go to the car wash.
And he's going to have his car washed there. He's going to most probably bring his second car.
Yeah, because if you want
being entertained.
No, if you want to give the best. In terms, Baba, we must agree. A church without woman is not a good church. You see, because in the microphone there you need a soprano. We must agree, and at the same time, even a working environment without women. Yeah, it's impossible. A house without a woman. I don't know.
It's very dull.
Because a woman in a house makes a home. You give her a house, she makes it a home. You see. So what I'm trying to say is the most successful car wash, women are there.
Employ women. The most successful restaurants must have naked women. Bottle girls.
We can't say they can be naked in a way because we must not use them for wrong gains.
Actually, not naked, but they're promoting nudity. You know, they are promoting nudity. That's what I've seen. For my product to sell, let me rather put this sexy lady wearing, half naked, and that's promotion of nudity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Backyard Chat with Lloyd Snr. I've got Musa Shiba here with me. We're talking about all dynamics of life. We've touched bases on relationship. We've also went deeper to speak about his book. We are celebrating Women's Month today. So, Musa, I want you to advise a woman out there who's frustrated for not having a boyfriend.
Well, I think that is very, very, very much interesting.
Yeah.
It is not actually a boyfriend that can complete a woman's life.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that the pain that a number of girls are having is that they grew up having absent fathers.
Yeah.
You see. So now they are lacking love.
Yeah.
You see. Why? Because a father was absent, or rather a father was abusive. You get that. So only to find that there is that gap in her.
Yeah.
You see. Kunale gap yothando. You see. Man, I can say to you, my sister, if a man is not there, love yourself. Love your own self. Yeah. Learn to love your own self. And if uzthanda wena, the more how you love yourself, you may find that you'll be able to, a good man will be attracted to you. A good man will be attracted to you. Why? Because the problem is, if you do not love yourself, you'll have a challenge that even men will come and go playing with you. So my advice to you is that zithande wena. And when you love yourself, you'll be able to channel people to love you the way how you want to be loved. That is why, Lloyd Snr, you may find that most of the women that maybe they don't have husbands or they are not doing good in relationships are women actually that men are scared of. Yeah, a woman that men are scared of, because a woman that knows her story, a woman that knows who she is, she won't just take shit. You see, because we must agree to say our sisters, you see, our female friends, they are being abused
every day.
I'm sorry, they are being abused. They are in an abusive relationship. It can be an abuse emotionally. Yeah. You see, the words that the person speaks to you,
to them,
you see. Why? Because you are desperate to be loved and everything, only to find that you are making mistakes. Love yourself. If you are servants, book yourself in a hotel. Alone in those white sheets. Yes. If you are servants, go to a restaurant. Buy something nice.
Musa, I think that's a very controversial part of it. You married now. You wouldn't go out there and book yourself a hotel and roll on bed alone.
I mean a woman that does not have a man.
The thing is, they are frustrated out there. They are saying, no one is approaching. Some are...
Time is going.
Yeah, some are frustrated. Time is going. Will I still give birth? Because I know the frustration of so many women is to say, now I'm at my late 30s or 40s. Will I still give birth? Who's going to marry me? Will I have kids? And all those frustrations, you know. And we know for a fact that even in school, for example, in a classroom, get to a school and check the classroom. Boys are few, find 5, 6 boys, and then the rest is the girls. The next class, out of 30, there's only 9 boys and then 21 girls, just like that. So,
and I saw it. I saw it that the 2000s are getting married now. The 90s are stuck.
Are still stuck in there. The 90s, you see, there's a gap. There's a huge gap. So I just want you to assist my sister out there at home. Today is the 9th. It's Women's Month celebration. I mean, it's a World Women's Day.
They
so
want
women's
men.
frustration. And this day makes them frustrated worse.
Can I answer it with a verse?
Yeah. May you please use the verse. You can be biblical. You can apply the biblical principles.
There's a verse in the book of Isaiah that says, at the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen.
So if the right time is 50 years, it's also fine.
You see, Baba.
It doesn't matter.
There are people who are getting married at 50. You see, there are people who are getting married at 50.
Are you still going to enjoy marriage at 50? But I think it's also the better time. 50 is better.
Because at the same time, when getting married, you must have grown. You must grow emotionally. You must grow physically. Yeah. You must grow financially. You must grow in understanding. Yeah. It's very important. But at the same time, Lloyd Snr, we must agree that we're not going to be married, all of us. Yeah. You see, you may find that abanye bantu baze bayafa bangashadanga, abanye bazongena baphume.
Divorce.
Yeah, abanye bazongena bahlale, because this is life. This is life. If I put the church aside, impilo le. You understand?
And it's unpredictable.
It's unpredictable.
There is no formula of life. All of us are still mastering this life, mastering how to live. We learn every day. It's a struggle.
When I went to TEF, and I was in TEF, when you came to TEF, I was out already.
Yeah, I went to TEF in 2007.
2007.
Yes.
Then 2010, where were you?
I was still in TEF.
Oh, we didn't know each other because
So I was in TEF 2007, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was in TEF 2010, but I didn't know you.
But I think I knew you.
Oh, nice.
I feel like I knew you. You look familiar at the time we met.
Then 2011.
In Malasin, yeah. I felt, yeah, your face was familiar.
Yeah, then 2011 I went to Forte. Okay. But one thing that I've actually noticed is that as much as we went to school, we went to university. There's this university called the University of Life. You understand? And that University of Life is not for the educated. You approach it with your academics, it deals with you.
It deals with you.
You see. Because there are principles that you must learn at home. You understand? There are things that you must learn at home. It's problematic and it's so painful. People, they haven't learned even now to love themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to put other people first, it's fine. But I'm saying now, prioritize yourself. And do not prioritize people who are not prioritizing you. It's very important. Because what is happening is that I once met a lady who said, say, now 20 years is your data. We're not yet married.
Yes.
With 3 kids.
Like Oprah Winfrey is not married.
Yeah. I believe even today they are still not married.
But I think it's a good thing.
Dating for
that
20
institution
years.
of marriage.
But dating for 20 years, that means it's a place of confusion. Why? Because most women, they want to settle. Baba, it is the pride of every woman to get married. Number 2, it is the pride of every woman to have her own house. You see.
But Oprah Winfrey has a mansion.
Okay.
Yes. So what about women out there who are able to build themselves houses and buy themselves houses and cars?
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Very interesting. That is why I said people should learn to love themselves.
Yeah.
Because if you love yourself enough, you know that you need to thrive. If you love yourself enough, establish yourself in business. The fact that Agnandota oinikeza ukudla ngetray for now, it gives you an opportunity to ensure that you develop your own self. At the end of it all, because
what if they are not approached, like the sisters out there, which I'm telling you that they say we are not approached, or wrong people are approaching us? It's not the marriage material that we're looking for.
They must go and pray and trust God with the process.
That God will bring the right partner.
That God will bring the right person.
Yeah.
And the promise that
at his own time.
At his own
time. So it should not be their effort to look for one.
Baba, as a woman to look for a man, unfortunately is that when you start looking for a man as a woman, you'll go crazy. You'll go crazy. Baba, men are dangerous. There are men out there. When you are busy looking, they will deal with you. They will disappoint you. They will injure you. Yes. And that will be very painful. Yes. We must agree with him. Because if you are not careful, you'll fall in the trap. That's so unfortunate. I understand the pressure that we have as people in the society. I understand the pressure. And it's very much disturbing in Witbank because some of the men, they are doing drugs, Baba. And it's so unfortunate to it's actually killing the seed. That is why these boys, they are this nyaupe, and these boys, they are always dirty. You understand? They are always dirty. Their main concern ukwelega amabhodlela bottles namakheni nanensimbi bayokalisa nokuntshontsha nani. You understand? And it's painful for these young growing girls. Why? Because amadoda wabo, they are in the street smoking smoking nyaumbe. It's very painful. Why? Because the level, when the seed is dead, the level of sugar daddies, it's going to grow actually. You see, that's the problem that we have in the society right now. Because Yoguti, they are interested, they are ready to settle, but men are not there. It's still going to affect the society if we do not deal with the drug issue as well.
Thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Backyard Chat with Lloyd Snr. Today we are not in the backyard, we're doing it indoors because it's August. You know, August is windy, it's a windy season. We are indoors, but the show remains the Backyard Chat with Lloyd Snr. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all social media platforms at Lloyd_Snr. Like, follow, support, subscribe. And we keep the conversation going. We want to talk about women. We want to talk about women who are very troublesome in marriage. Very difficult women to live with, you know.
Yeah, no, Lord Senior, we need also to tackle these issues. There are people that are not tolerable to stay with. We must agree to that.
Yeah.
Remember that it's a Women's Day, it's a Women's Month, and we've tried so hard to appreciate women in this podcast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we must agree to say some of the women, it becomes hard for them to be loved.
Yeah.
And it is hard for them to submit, you see. And it is very painful to say men, they don't talk, Baba. Yeah. I must say these things to say, the saying to say indoda ikhali, it's a wrong saying.
Very, very
it's a wrong saying.
Yes, of course.
And abantu, they end up having easy for. Why? Because the society, men
must not cry. It leads to depression.
You see. And the painful part of it is that umfana uma khula ekhaya umfana was expected emakhaya kudala was expected ukuthi ayolusa to go and attend the flock in the fields, okay, yes. Which was fine. It was part of growing, okay.
But I do cry, you know.
Yeah. Crying it's good. Crying it's good. So at the same time, the boy was expected to grow, was expected to be a man.
Yeah.
You know,
strong, masculine.
But at the same time, you become masculine, but emotional in a way. Why? Because there are things that are not attended to correctly. Indoda ayikhali. Indoda ayikhulumi. You don't share. You see, you bottle things within you. Yeah. The more you bottle them within you, lo mama lapha endlini uyakushaya, kunama flying kick.
There's lots of abuse
in the house. There's a lot of abuse. You are abused as a man, but you can't share. You can't say anything. Why? Because usaba uguti society. How is it going to perceive you?
How will they perceive me?
How
will
is
they
it going
judge
to
me?
receive you? How are they going to judge you? But at the same time, it is your life. So we need to address even those girls who are abusive. But let's address also those girls who are abusing the boys to say, ngabantwana babantu bafethu shwele. We are really crying and we are asking, let us try ukuthi as the family structure sifunde ukuhlalisana kahle, sifunde ukuba responsible. We understand ukuthi you must do unto others what can be done, what you can expect that it can be done to you as well. Why? Because what you actually find is to say when the boy child is growing, is rejected at home.
Yes.
Number one, at home they tell you, indoda ikhali. When you cry, it doesn't matter what you are crying for. But you are told ukuthi indoda ikhali. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you are told ukuthi asithi mhlambe kunosisi wakho omncane oqalayo. When you are trying to discipline usisi wakho omncane, you are told to menzani lo mntwana. Or rather your younger brother, maybe you're a firstborn brother. You see, that is why the younger brothers, you may find them, they grow up spoiled at times. Why? Because lo omdala yena na noma qaliwe is not expected to execute power. I'm not saying the kids must execute power.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is ukura lo mntwana rejected at home.
Yes.
Number two, you go to school. At most the boys are rejected, not unless the boy is brilliant. And these boys, they are trying to fit in the society.
Yes.
What they do, why? Because number one, lo muntu developer anger, number one, ekhaya, I am rejected. I am expected to be a man.
Yeah.
You see, I'm expected to be indoda because indoda injury I can't. Yes. We understand. Then when moving from home, we are going to school. Stigma indoda I can't. And to prove ukuthi indoda I can't, ngenza njani ngiphatha pepper spray, spray abanye abantwana. You see, those who are against me, because I'm trying to feed within that particular
You're now inciting
space.
violence.
Yes, I decided I don't see ukuthi I am violent. But I want to be felt, I want to fit. Why? Because the family structure, the factory that produces me, it is actually expecting me not to be emotional in any way. Yet I am human. As we are all human beings. We must be afforded an equal chance to express ourselves. Even though I don't cry in front of my kids, I don't cry in front of my wife. But at the same time, when I'm alone, because it heals me to cry. Because this university of life, Baba, une masters, une PhD.
We are all trying to master this life.
We have to, Baba. And now we find that there are these women that are abusive. Nabo mama bakon. Tola tu mama, when you beat the boy child, umbiza ngembongolo. When you beat the child, umbiza ngenja, mbongolo, dog, nan. When you address, I don't know whether they've got anger or what. When you address the gay child, umbiza a prostitute.
Oh.
You see,
Harsh words.
At the age of 5 years, because he's making a mistake. When looking at the kid, you're saying, this child is going to be a prostitute. It's going to be a criminal. And even relatives, when they come to address your kids, they utter some words that are very negative towards
irreversible.
Your kids, you see. And only to find that that is affecting the family structure, because ukula ne anger, uyamangala ukuthi le anger engaka, that it stems from the disorganized family structure. There is no order of talking to one another. Ngiyabacela labo sibangabashayi labo baba, bangabatheli ngamanzi abilayo. Hey, Sarah was addressing Abraham as saying, "My Lord." Sarah, when addressing Abraham, addressing the husband. And the Bible says God is the head of the man. The man is the head of the wife. So we must understand that. That is sad, Bob. Because we've got a challenge to say, now people are teaching our women, okay, it's fine that they attend classes of independence, they are taught independence and everything, which is good, my brother. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you become independent in your own house. Why? Because in your own house, you depend to one another. Once we actually move from the spirit of depending to each other, then we're no longer in marriage. Because when we are married, we must depend to one another.
Okay, here's a man, he's being abused at home. And we know the last resort most of the time. I mean, some cases are supposed to be reported to the police station. Here's the man going to the police station to report domestic violence and is laughed at. He gets there and the police officers laugh.
Unfortunately, is that abuse Yamadoda is not taken serious.
Yeah.
And people, because the number of women who are being raped, the number of women who are being abused.
Yeah.
We grew up, they are abused, or auntie betu, or they are being abused by men. But now the society has transformed in a point where women, they can also become abusers.
Yes.
And unfortunately, because we are not used to this kind of an abuse, to say men can still be abused. Why? Because indota aikali, number one. Sure. Number two, indota aikulumi. It's so unfortunate that, Baba, even in churches, men are not there. Do you know that men sometimes they resort into drinking hard? Because they want alcohol.
It's because they are frustrated.
They are brutally abused. And it's so unfortunate, Baba. Let me say it out loud. It's so unfortunate when you are abused, even the erection becomes abnormal. Why? Because because remember, this thing stems from
loving
the mindset.
This one. Yeah. And you're expected to perform.
You are expected to perform, but it's so unfortunate to go to sex and land it transports to the body. Yeah. The body now believes what is on, you understand? Yeah. And the blood begins to flow. Yes. You understand? The mind transfers to the heart, and the heart is pumping blood, right? And the blood is beginning to flow. But it's so unfortunate that when you are living under the roof where there is no peace, the roof where you are not a man, because as if women who are not men in their houses. And I wish that
they are submitting under their wives.
They are submitting under
She's
the
in
authority
charge
of the wife, because he will come and you see, and that is very, very painful, because the family structure itself,
it's broken.
When they grow,
they become an exact copy of what their mothers were doing.
That's it, Baba.
They were not socialized correctly, so they think abusing a man or shouting at a man, mistreating men is the right thing to do, because they grew up seeing their mothers.
They grew up seeing their mothers doing the very same thing. And it becomes very painful that marriages of today, if the family structure is not fixed correctly, it won't go anywhere.
Doesn't go anywhere.
It won't go anywhere. Wow. Because at the same time, lo muntu shade naye but uhlale for noma wakhe for 3 hours. And only to find that, I'm sorry to say.
You mean noma wakhe, like with the mother, your mother-in-law?
Biological mother. I'm making an example to say, you stay in the phone with your biological mother for 3 hours discussing dabazakako.
So it's a wrong thing to do when you're married.
It's a wrong thing to do when you're married. You
are supposed to speak to my mother.
You don't talk about your man. You don't discuss your man with your mother. You don't discuss your wife. You don't discuss your partner with your family. You understand?
Family. So who's going to assist me if I'm faced with challenges in marriage? You're saying you're discouraging the action of consulting family.
Yes, I'm saying what is going to help you is that you need to have neutral mentors.
Okay.
Neutral mentors. People you can be able to cry to. People who can know your tears and not laugh at them. People who will understand you the way you are. People who will accept you with your mistakes. Because you are human. You've got mistakes. Here's a challenge in Lloyd. The challenge will be is that if I call my parents and I tell them my problems, relationship, they will begin to hate my wife, or they will begin to hate my husband.
Yes,
rather.
Definitely, that's very true.
And also what they are going to do. But my
the hatred will not go away.
It's not going to be received. You understand? It's not going to be received. So now you need a neutral mentor. I mean, I can advise people to say, in everything that you do, in parenting, you need a mentor. A person that is doing good in parenting.
Yeah.
In education, you need a mentor.
Yeah.
A person that is good in education. Whatever that you do, in business, you need a mentor. In ministry, you need a mentor. In writing books and everything, you need a mentor. You need a person in your life. So,
who's going to guide you, give you guidance, full time.
And guide you. And from time to time, as a human being, you need to sit down and introspect yourself.
Yeah.
You're in the right track now. Why? Because we are human, and you must understand, you will hurt people, people will hate you back.
Definitely.
Why? Because it's emhlabeni la sikhona khona. So let's treat each other the correct way.
So am I allowed to divorce a woman who's abusing me?
Baba, let me be honest with you.
Yeah.
Though the Bible is against divorce, I must be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I must tell you the truth, a brutally honest truth.
Yeah.
Where you are not accepted.
Yes.
Where you are not welcome.
Yeah.
Where you are not received well.
Yes.
Where you are not appreciated. Eventually you will die there.
You'll die there.
And when you die, it's so unfortunate that when you still have parents, it's so unfortunate that when you still have siblings
and your kids as well.
When you have kids.
You're leaving your kids with no father.
Because your children, the best thing they need, it's a healthy father. Yes. The best thing they need, it's a healthy mother.
So do I run away?
We disagree to divorce, but why should I stay?
I need to call it a quits immediately.
We need to have positive agreements.
There's no one who can assist people who are being abused, especially men who are abused in marriage. Maybe a marriage counselor. Should we seek professional help, therapists to intervene? You know, I'd love to at least understand that one, and for the viewers at home to say you don't really have to resort to divorce, or maybe there's a marriage counselor there who can fix it up. So you want to tell me that it's not fixable?
I think in Witbank we're fortunate that there's MK. The
What is
Highfield, the Highfield Eye Hospital.
Yes, I know the Highfield Eye Hospital.
Yeah,
the one right next to me here.
Yes. In that place, it's not only to say abantu abayakhona bagulwa ingqondo. No.
Isn't it? And the eye care, eye for the eyes.
There's one for eyes, ne?
Yeah.
There's a section where they deal with eyes.
And then mental health as well.
Yeah, but there's a section where there's a hospital in the same building where they deal with mental health.
Okay.
And we must agree that as a society now we struggle with mental health.
Of course.
Due to all the struggles that we are going through in life and the life patterns that we actually living under as people. So now you need to seek professional help. Mina, as a life coach, as a pastor, I've got my own personal doctor.
Yes.
I've got my own personal psychologist. We cannot afford all of us as a society. But I'm trying to say, as a person now, you need to develop certain hobbies that you do.
Yeah.
Mhlambe wena, if you need to ukuphuma stress, you establish a project.
Yeah.
Uma ngabe ngiva stressed, I write a chapter of my book.
Okay.
When I was a young man, when I felt getting stressed, I was writing a poem. I'm good with
Very
poems.
interesting, yes.
You see, I was writing poems, and I was the best poet even at school.
Yeah.
You see, I was reciting poems for my school. So what you do, you must have a hobby. I'm advising men to have hobbies. To say, if you feel that you are stressed at times, don't address issues at that time.
Yeah.
You can go watch a movie. You can play football and everything. You see, you can even watch a movie at your home. You see.
So when I'm frustrated, beaten up by wife, I must just have hobbies. I must watch movies.
Oh God, beaten up by your wife. Why are you staying
It's
where you have been
happening.
beaten? Why do you stay where you have been beaten?
The thing is, I'm married to this person.
Okay, today
I'm married. I've signed. Most marriage are in community of property, but this is my wife. I'm there. So you want to tell me that when I'm being abused at home, I need to stay. I need to have hobbies, watch TV, watch movies, develop a hobby which will entertain me, or how do I seek help?
You see, when we
I'm
talk
struggling
about,
with that.
When we talk about abuse in a level of beating, I advise a person to run away. Because uma akshaya ngempama namhlanje kusasa uzokuhlaba ngomesa.
But I can beat her back.
Unfortunately, when you beat her back also, it becomes a war zone. And now, look, the women that are beating men, most of them, they are masculine than the men.
Yeah.
You may find that the woman is masculine. You will beat,
And you'd never win.
You will beat back and you will never win, and she will thoroughly deal with you. But we can advise ukuthi noma ngabe sekubheda kangakanani.
Man, dog, would you be beaten by a woman? What would you do in the case that you are beaten by a woman? Yeah, pum.
But I'm being honest with you to say, in a case of beating, either a man is beating his wife, or either the wife is beating the man. We grew up under that level of abuse in our homes. I'm telling you, my man, run away. My sister, run away. Run for your life. Because you can't stay where you're being beaten.
Okay, so you're encouraging divorce today.
I'm not saying...
An abused man must just divorce.
I'm not saying I'm encouraging divorce in actual sense, right?
Yeah.
Because at the same time, remember, I'm writing a book titled Married but Divorced.
Divorced, yes.
When we beat each other, we already divorced.
So it's not fixable.
The issue of beating, you know why? I must be honest
Or
with you.
push a to be pushed, and all these crazy things in marriage is still part of abuse.
The challenge is celluloid. This thing they actually stem from the family structure, which is actually having disorder, a disorganized family structure.
A dysfunctional family.
Yeah. So ngidila njani ngomuntu who's an abuser by nature? His whole life he grew up watching his mother, his father beating his mother, or rather his mother beating his father. Then I'm expecting to make life with this person. The only thing that can help this marriage is to say, law Shayamunye must grow.
Hey, my daughter out there, guys. Can you hear? Pastor Shiba is saying, run for your life. run. Divorce. The battery is finished. Eh? Okay, yeah. If you're struggling in marriage and things are falling apart, you're being beaten, emotional abuse, and all those domestic violence is happening in your house, in your family, cut it off, call it a quit. This was the Backyard Chat with Lloyd Snr. I had Musa with me here. I can call you Musa.
I don't know, it's okay. Anything, it's fine. Anything, it's fine.
I want you to come back.